Hello and welcome to the 5th in our videos series on how to play Heroes of Might and Magic 3 the board game. In this chapter, we'll be taking you through player turns, including locations and secondary heroes. Do check out the playlist for a full list of videos.
And hi everyone, it's Stella.
And Tarrant here from Meeple University.
Let's go to the classroom.
To begin your turn, discard any number of cards from your hand and then draw up to your current hand limit. Your hand limit is determined by your hero level and morale, and if you began with more cards than your hand limit, you must at least discard down to your hand limit. You may have either 1 or 2 heroes on the map. By default, your main hero has 3 movement points to spend, and your secondary hero has 2. Loosely speaking, each movement point lets you move one field or discover a new tile. When you move the hero to an adjacent visible field. Each map tile has 7 different fields on it. You can't enter a map tile which is not yet been revealed, and you can't move through one of these thick yellow lines, meaning that a field like this can never be entered. You can move into a field with an allied hero, but cannot end your turn there. After each movement, you interact with the destination field. And note as well, you can activate a movement point to not move anywhere, but interact with the field you're currently standing in. When you interact with an empty field, nothing happens. If a field shows a Roman numeral between 1 and 7, then that field is guarded by neutral units of that level. And you'll have to first win a combat against those neutral units before you can visit the location behind. The higher the numeral, the more difficult the combat, and I'll come back and talk about combats in Chapter 7. If you enter a field with another player's hero, then you'll have to fight that player. And if you enter another player's hometown, you'll fight combat against that town. After resolving any combats, if necessary, you may visit the location. Locations are represented by these icons and these images. And the rulebook contains a full list of all of the different locations by their image. I won't cover them one by one, but they can all be broken down into 3 main categories: visitable, flaggable, and revisitable. A visitable location represents a once-off bonus to the first player who finds it. This water wheel, for example, gives 3 gold to the player who finds it. After resolving any visitable location, place a black cube on the space. It's now treated as if it were an empty field. If the black cube is ever removed through some effect, then it becomes visitable again. Through these locations, you might find resources, cards, treasure or random resources, which you resolve with a die roll, the opportunity to make exchanges, and more. Anything which can't be easily represented by icons has a question mark showing, and you'll go to the rulebook to determine exactly what it means. A flaggable location is one where a player maintains ongoing claim to that location. Often these are locations which increase a player's income, or need to be held towards a victory condition. When you visit a flaggable location, mark it with one of your faction-coloured cubes. If it has an income benefit, mark that on your town board. There is also often an immediate benefit for the first player to flag a given location. If you visit a location which is flagged by an opponent, then you do not need to fight a combat with the board, simply replace the other player's flagging cube with your own. When you lose a flagged location, you also lose the income it provided. The third location type is revisitable, and you can get the same effect from that location anytime you visit it. For example, this location is the trading house, letting you buy or sell resources for the ratios shown on page 36. Other than that, we'll leave you to read the particulars of all of the different locations for yourselves. The other main way you can spend a movement point is to discover or place a new map tile. To discover a tile, your hero must be adjacent to a face-down map tile, and you flip it face up, rotating it in whichever orientation suits you best. To place a map tile, choose one of the map tiles that were dealt into your pool at the start of the game, and then place that in such a way that it is adjacent to at least 2 previously placed map tiles and adjacent to your hero, and aligned such that the whole tile is still accessible, not blocked out by one of these impassable fields. And that's how to take a turn in Heroes of Might and Magic 3 the board game. In the next chapter, we'll take you through playing cards and leveling up heroes.
Thanks so much for watching. See you there.